here. See, I'm shaking up for us. Man, this is exciting. Like,
How you feel, man?
bro, I'm excited. Like,
The pilot?
the pilot, it's like, well, we meet 4 years ago?
I think, damn, it's
4 years
it has
ago
been
at
4
a
years
pop-up
ago.
shop.
Yes.
And like, the connection that was made for the both of us was this very domino table.
No, facts.
In the game. And like, you know, thinking about like the way that we've been able to connect over these years through the dominoes and like collaboration. It all really started just by like you showing up and being like, yo, you playing Bones right now?
Man.
So, yeah, I'm really excited. Like, you've been very involved in terms of like giving me feedback and like making this very day happen is really special for me. So like, I'm happy.
Congrats, bro. You deserve it. I mean, I think we were talking about it right before we started too. How important this is to see. Not just an idea, but something this special through, and how specific it is, the nuance, the detail, and how often those details either are lost or just flat out not told on our behalf, right? And so instead of waiting for someone to create a company that is revolved around dominoes and community, you just did it, you know? And so like, not just me, but all my partners and even people that I didn't know that you already knew, feel exactly the same way. So I know I'm not crazy, and I know I'm not the only one that felt that way, you know. And so I've gotten to meet so many people because of it. You know, my cousins and I, we developed ideas. The idea from the podcast. See, the pod was developed from a night at Kingston 11.
That's that's how the podcast started.
Bro, I was already doing the pod. I was like 20 episodes in at just the one-on-ones. We got faded at Kingston 11, went back to the apartment downtown and recorded the first episode of Meet the Brave with Poe and LG after a DPA night.
Wow.
Yeah.
I never really connected that one.
Yeah.
I never knew the origin of that.
Faded. We were faded too.
Man, because y'all showed up and it was you, Poe, L, and I think there was one more family member.
Freak was with us, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And like the four of y'all sat down and just like bonded.
Yeah.
And that was what I wanted this domino program to really connect with is folks and family members sit down, they build.
Yeah.
And y'all built a podcast off of that game session.
Man, we built the pod. Freak and I, who is my cousin, but also been my business partner, like the first one to ever invest in me as an artist, right? So we built Brave Area together. He and I weren't, not that we weren't speaking, but we weren't even creating together anymore. And the dominoes just helped prepare that. Like, you know how the running thing is, we don't apologize. We don't do none of that. Like, nah, man, we sat down and we hashed out and worked through our issues. Thank you. Over dominoes at Kingston 11. Every third?
That was every first and third
Every first
Tuesday, yeah.
And it was so dope because we began to look forward to that, and we came and we just figured it out, and we kept showing up, and like I missed like how easy the ideas flowed, and then but then also we talked about it on the pod earlier, is like how much they lighten that artists do this weird thing where you try to be fake deep or hella emo for no reason. It's like, bro, like stop. Your life ain't that hard, bro.
Yeah.
You live in the Bay and get to call yourself a rapper. Shut up.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what was so fun about those nights. It's like my cousins totally made fun of me, and I stopped taking myself so serious, and so that's where the shift was.
Yeah.
It's like I was trying to be way too serious. For the impact I was hoping to have.
Yeah, no, I completely relate to that. Like when I started to work on Uplifters, like I was so fixated on being this brand, focusing on clothing and like really trying to create a streetwear company.
Yeah.
And it was dope to be able to design, but like I really felt for me, I wanted to connect with people and like build a community and like wanted to be really authentic with who I was. And like dominoes was that, right? Like I was like, yo, I meet up with the homies and play, and we just have conversations. I get to be myself. We talk shit. We sing each other the whole entire time. And I was like, that's what I want to be a part of the brand. And really trying to create that was a process of like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna design some domino sets, and I'm gonna design some domino tables, and I'm gonna try to figure out how do I integrate this into the community. And lo and behold, you and your family become a part of my family through the domino game. And every single relationship I attribute that's significant in my life right now here in the Bay is all connected to this domino table. You know, like the team that we have here right now working on this, we've sat down and played dominoes together. The relationships that we built, we talk about life. And I think about that as a part of growing up. You know, those were the things that I connected to when I sat at the domino table. I know I first learned how to play with one of my best friends and his dad. And like, Pops was the OG, like, big, bulky dude. Like, he didn't play. Big Jimmy didn't play. But at a certain point, me and his son, Little Jimmy, were able to be invited to the table. And that's where we got our rites of passage.
That's where, hey, when you get invited to sit down with the OGs, we going 7 or 9?
Let's go 7 with a boneyard?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Yeah, so, you know, I think about that and seeing you and your cousins all together. I imagine that's what it was like growing up for all of you, right?
When the OGs sat down at the bone table, no matter what it was.
Big Six?
Yeah.
You said OG sat at the table?
When the OG, what we doing? Oh, 15.
15, all right.
Let's do it. Well, so explain how are the rules gonna go on the show? Is it 10 to get in? How are we doing?
10 to get in.
We counting nicks? What are we? Because you just hit me to something where you said down south they don't even count nicks, and I thought that was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, you want to try that out?
No, I'm just. Okay,
it's all right.
We can totally try.
I was thinking the house rules is we play to 200, so 4 houses. 10 to get in.
10 again.
And cutthroat. So keep 4 doubles.
Keep 4 doubles. Let's go.
All right.
Let's go.
You don't challenge ourselves.
I love that.
So you already on the board. Damn. All right.
It's about to get spooky though. See, I knew it. I knew it. It's about to get spooky.
Okay.
See? You don't fool with your boy.
You know,
see a mark, spot a mark. You called that right away.
Yeah, so you know, playing, growing up, oh man, you catching some bodies today.
I'm gonna keep scoring.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna just do that.
So was, you know, the OGs, was Pops playing? Because I got to meet Pops this week.
You did.
And
you did.
He looked like he a real player. And
don't be fooled by looks, bro. OGs be fully fooling you, right?
Yeah.
They just got that. They got that weathered look to them. Joe, what you trying to pull off,
bro? I'm just trying to get out of this one. I'm just trying to get out of this one.
You did.
I'm trying to come up on a little bit, you know?
You damn near about to, but I'm not fooling with you, cuz.
Okay.
I'm not fooling with you, cuz.
I mean, it ain't nothing. Let's just say it's a silent 5. I don't get to do anything.
You don't get to, nah.
So you saying you was giving Pops problems back in the day?
Nah, I'm not gonna do that now, Pops. But you learn because you want to sit at the big boy table so bad, right?
Yeah.
You want to sit at the big boy table so damn bad that when you get your turn.
That's domino. But I don't get
no money,
no money,
baby.
Yo, I'll take it. So
you want to sit at the domino table so bad with the OGs that you damn near nervous the first time you sit down, but
Yeah.
you really been watching, so you already know the lingo just by proxy, right?
Yeah.
So they make them don't cut attention. You know, they like all the shit that they say.
Yeah.
You think you know how to use it, right?
Yeah.
So you just sit down and you just fall right into the flow. And you know, if you better be thick-skinned too, because you're gonna talk about. When I knew it was real,
Yeah.
I spent my whole life being worried about my uncles, had not accounted for the fact that my mama was a killer, bro. Like,
Mom's is really playing.
my mom talks so much shit in dominoes, bro. I swear, cats be worried about their uncles, their dads, their older brothers. No, your mama is the one that'll cut your head off in dominoes and not lose no sleep. So that was my experience. My mom is the best domino player I know, for sure.
Wow. Okay.
I'm not even.
That's what's up.
I feel like her brother and everybody would back that up. My uncle was hella good. LG is amazing. Who else? My step pops, Maddie is like, those are my favorite domino players, and that's just me. My dad too, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the legacy of that, like, so what is it like nowadays? Like when you come home and the dominoes is pulled out, are you feeling like you can give moms a problem, give pops a problem?
Oh yeah. No. See, but that's the thing. We started so young. I remember my mom being so irritated the first time I started winning, because I was like, I learned how to talk shit.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I don't like this at all. But I remember being hella proud of it too. You support.
I got a couple more. So, when did you start figuring out strategy in dominoes?
Early, because you start. What's crazy is we didn't grow up. You don't grow up playing.
I'm gonna take 10.
You don't grow up playing cutthroat right away. You don't grow up playing cutthroat right away, and so it's teams, and so you go out there getting your money, and if your mom and your uncle is teamed up against you, and you teamed up with your cousin that's like right around your same age, they talking big shit, and they ain't in sync, but they cheating. Yeah. They talking the board and everything, but all money ain't good money. All money ain't good money. All like they just talking big noise,
bro. And that's such a strong metaphor, like that I try to live by. All money ain't good money, right?
I'm giving it up right now, bro.
I appreciate you. This is what friendship is all about.
This is what it's about.
Yo, for real. I mean, and shout out. So we chilling. We have some mezcal. So we get to enjoy that.
Where are we at? What is this place called?
This is Alkali Rye. So it's a historic business. It's a POC owned bottle shop, Black women owned.
Wow.
And they provide mezcals, wines. They really emphasize POC artisans that are providing spirits and the wines. And so they're all focused on, creating that community. Yeah. And so Corey and Jessica, who are the owners of the business, have been super instrumental in the creation of uplifters and dominoes. Like, we all work together at Red Bay.
Wow.
So we were all working together 3 or 4 years ago. They went on to create their business. I've gone on to create mine.
yours. Wow.
And so the space is really created around entrepreneurship, and the relationship we have with each other is created around entrepreneurship. And I mean, everybody in this room is an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Like, so this space is really indicative of that.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we're sipping on this Por Siempre, which is a sotol, which is a part of the agave.
Right, it's not quite mezcal.
It's not quite mezcal or tequila. It's another form of the agave. So, salud.
So, when Jessica was telling us about it, she was going, most people go, they all taste the same.
Yeah.
It's like, well, they kind of do, right?
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking in my brain, and not even close.
No.
So, in the best of ways too.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be interested to see what the other two taste like, because this one is really, really good. Let's see.
When did you get into mezcals?
I would say I got into mezcals in the last year and a half. I normally like to drink rum, with my family being from the Caribbean. And so being out here, you know, tequila and mezcal, some of the best bars I've been to have it. So I really got into it as of late at that point. Shoot, you. Dang. All right.
What you got going on, Playboy?
Man. So, you know, it's really cool that we are able to be in this space and drink and celebrate this first episode and this pilot. Ooh. Let me out, Domino.
Take a look.
We got 4, 5, we got 10. You catch up, bro. So you at 435, I'm at 30.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on. I know it looked like you're doing something.
Yeah, you know. So the strategy played a huge part in dominoes.
You know what? That's what I was going.
Yeah.
Strategy in dominoes helped because it's like we learned dominoes way early, and then one summer my grandma went on this like chess kick where we had to play chess. So she went and bought sets for the house, and then there was like chess camp at a church or something there somewhere. So all me and Elle did for a whole summer was hoop, played chess, domino, like for an entire summer, bro. So it was like, all right, but you get into the habit of like, it's not what it looks like. Can you look beyond, and can you get so good that you can play 2 steps ahead? Now can you be 3? Now can you be 4? And I remember that doing so much for me that summer, simply because it was such an informative one. You 13, 14. Peers, people like that's when cats start catching cases and all kind of wild shit, right?
Yeah.
So, so just being an individual, being able to make your own decisions and not being influenced by the crowd, bro. It's like I remember that being really important, and not being hella pressed to fit in. Not being hella pressed to fit in at all. And that essentially saving cats' lives because it was getting bad quick, you know.
Yeah, I mean, and learning that at that point in time, I imagine that's something you carry with you, right? Like the game now is like, I use this in all facets of my life. At least I'm like, you know, some days I get 4 doubles. How am I gonna deal with the day? And for a lot of the strategy around that, right? Like how am I gonna get off these 4 doubles as I'm dealing with relationships and I'm dealing with like the pitfalls and the ups and downs of running my own business or being a creator. Like how do you deal with this? Like the strategy and like what are some of the things that you really try to live by in terms of like a philosophy when it comes to being a creator? Because you do so many different things, man. You write music, you're an orator, you compose, like you're a creator. So, I mean, how do you strategize around all of that, and like, how do you make sure that you stay on your P's and Q's?
Really, bro, it's just like the long game. Like I really enjoy those matches where the person to the left of you is eating. So everybody at the table, again, is like being tricked by the optics. And I'm going, bro, it looked cool, but he ain't eating like that. Let me get finished. I'm playing a different game.
Yeah, you playing games with me right now, because
it's like, nah, let them cook, but I'm playing a different game. And by the time they look up, they're like, bro, how you get all this money? I'm like, I'm playing a different game. Fitting. And I love that. So when it comes to doing so many different things, that's exactly what it is. It's like, shit, I'm gonna cut off my money. Ridiculous. Ooh, I don't want to do that. Yes, I do.
I'm gonna get 15.
Cut off my money and should have just ate it. See, but that's the strategy. It's like I should have just took. But exactly that though, bro. With so many different irons in the fire, it's like you gotta be controlled. You have to be dialed in.
Yeah.
Another 20.
That's crazy.
You gotta be controlled and you gotta be calculated and you kind of just gotta slow down. And I'm grateful for that more than anything, bro. It's like it really can get away from you if you allow it to.
Yeah.
Oh shit, Johnny. Fuck, I'm gonna do it again, but I have to. What are we going to? 200.
200, and you already at 120.
Do 20 that way.
Sheesh.
God damn it. That was greedy. That was really greedy. I just got exposed for being greedy.
All money ain't good money.
All money ain't good money. That's exactly it. Wait a minute. Yes, it is. 18, 20, 25. But just being committed to the long game, and it's not for everybody. Because you have, to your point, you have those days when you get 4 doubles where you got to get that off.
Yeah.
And you got some days where you get caught with all the money in your hand.
Yep.
You feel me?
Yep.
And can you manage your emotions? Can you focus enough not to undermine or compromise all the other productions because you stressed out?
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro, be better, just be better, you know?
Yeah.
I'm out.
Sheesh. We'll give you 12, 10.
Yeah.
Bruh, this is the quick one right now. Man. Listen to that. So, you know, I know you talked about playing when you were a kid and it kind of kept you out of trouble and you were able to focus, and that's obviously influenced how you approach your creative work and as a professional. Who were those influences? Because I know I've seen the people that you keep around you, and they are some brilliant, dedicated individuals, from family to just the team that you keep around you. Like, who are those people?
I think growing up, I didn't know it at the time, but now in hindsight, my grandmother, my Gigi Doris, like, we're so much alike in like our love for history and stuff like that, you know. So I know growing up for her, but what I enjoyed the most about her was like she was mad fluid, right? So whatever she needed to be in the room, she knock it out the park. I remember identifying with that. And then my cousin and my co-host, LG, on the podcast, like that is my hero through and through. Like bruh's been to the highest of the heights and has been knocked down beyond where anyone would survive from. And not only lived to tell it, but came back better. It's like, nigga, you got weight. You was already the nigga before, now you better than that?
Yeah.
It's so impressive, and so even to this day, I'm proud to say that that's my hero for sure. And then looking at my immediate crew, my best friend in the whole world, Dylan, he might have single-handedly saved my life, like, because little Armani like could not wrap his mind around why school was so important. That shit was stupid to me, bro. Like the concept of homework, the concept of going to school was ridiculous to me. And we transferred schools after my parents split up, and the first day of school was like, because I was always the biggest kid. Dylan was just damn near the same size as me, but the coolest, and he was fighting for number 1 or 2 as far as grades were concerned. And he was the first one to make that shit fly. Like, learning was fly. Like, if you spent the night at his house, you could only watch TV before bed if you read. I'm like, man, what? This is silly. What the fuck are we talking about? Dylan would get dropped off or would get home from school without his mom saying a word to him and do his homework. And I was like, I'm not doing no homework, fam.
That's
like,
discipline.
That's the type of time, like, he was this, like, I'm talking like 4th grade, too. Like, nobody has to tell him to do none of that shit. And at school, he's still the coolest person. Yeah. I'm like, wait a minute, so you could be smart and be cool? Like, it hadn't registered to me because everybody was playing that dumb role. Yeah. Like, it was, I don't know if everybody experienced that, but I experienced a way where the nerds were the nerds, getting made fun of and wasn't as cool, didn't get the girls, none of that, and then the dumb kid was getting all the chicks and was the athlete. You know, Dylan was the athlete, got the chicks, and it was like, oh shit, okay, this is a thing. Yeah. You know? So that's, I feel like I have told him that, but maybe I haven't. But he's the one that really rectified that. And then I started paying attention to all the people who were older who I thought were cool, and they were all smart. My dad's sisters are two of the smartest people in ever, right? Yeah. But I always looked up to him. My god brother I thought he was the coolest, but he was hella smart, you know. So I started connecting those dots between like intelligence and not even just like book smarts, like the balance of emotional intelligence, street smarts, and book smarts. Like that balance became the thing. And so like I started peeping. So then it was no longer about who was the best rapper. It was like, who's the best businessman? Yeah. So you see Dame, you see Hov, you see Biggs. It's like, no, them are the guys. Yeah. Like that's what I'm rocking with, you know. And then the affinity for Master P and Richmond is like, nah, bro owns the label. Yeah. He ain't the best rapper. He got the most money, and he writing they checks, bro. Sorry. Yeah. Big timers. Oh, man, nobody want to hear a Birdman verse. I do. Yeah. You know, so it's became one of those things where it's like, identify the smartest dude in the room, and then who is the smartest dude in the room listening to. Yeah. And so if you see Hov, it's Dame, it's Biggs, it's Tata. He got a whole bunch of cats around him that he deferred to. Yeah. So put yourself around some people that you can defer to and that you think are cooler, that you think are smarter. And when I tell you I've been around some of the coolest motherfuckers and some of the smartest motherfuckers my entire life, so I've been insulated and protected because ain't nobody making no dumb, selfish decisions. Yeah. Like, nobody's making no decisions about no fucking money. Yeah. Nobody's making no decisions that's gonna compromise their family and the shit that they love to benefit them. They just not doing it. They built different. Yeah. You know? So I got lucky, and then I leave that situation, come here, meet Kevin Deuce. Nigga, I'm untouchable now. Yeah. You know, so it's lucky.
Yeah. Nah, I mean, and I think those influence, at least from my observation, like that versatility that you talk about, right? Like being able to maneuver around the room. Yeah. Do you think, it feels like that kind of is what drives your spirit in terms of all of the cool things that you've been working on, like the music, the content, like the dedication, the discipline. Like yesterday we ran into each other and it was like, yo, I want to come play bones with y'all, but I got to work on this composition. Damn. And I can't say how important that was for me to hear you say that. Damn.
And I hella catted. I felt so bad. I was like...
You didn't, though, because to me, it illustrated, like, yo, I got to stay focused. Yeah. And, like, in the game of life, like, there are going to be things that look attractive and that FOMO will kick in. But what I appreciated was, you know what, you knew that you had to get it done. Because I imagine if you don't get that one thing done, you got so many other things that you got to get done today that it's going to impact that deadline that you were trying to meet.
And then we're entrepreneurs, right? Yeah. So that one project is the little peace of mind for the rest of the month. Yeah. Like, hey, what's your overhead? That one job will take care of that, and I can go for one day. Yeah. Just one. It only lasts a day. Yeah. Right. You make your monthly. I know, and I'm revealing a lot, but that's how I've been having to give it up since I went full-time art. Yeah. Right. And so, hey man, love you, and this shit look lit. I'll help you come set up the tables, but I'm going back upstairs and finish this project so that I can get fucking paid and breathe for one. I just want one day just where I'm not worried about nothing. Studio rent is paid, home rent is paid, credit card paid. Like, and I put some away, and it's like, all right, bro, let's do it again. And oh shit, can I get 2 months ahead? Nigga, can I get through June? Yeah. To Thanksgiving, we lit? Oh, bet, you know, so it's it's not for everybody, but it also is, my dad said it. We were walking upstairs. He's like, man, you don't want to stay? I'm like, Dad, He's like, damn, bro, working for yourself is a trip, huh? It's like, it is. He's like, I'm proud of you, though. Like, my dad and I haven't had those moments, right? Because it's, man, that's my guy. Talk about him on a pod and just how hard he works and his battle with addiction and you know, how much of a soldier he's showing that he is, right? So he's facing it. It's embarrassing, it's humbling, but it's the most rewarding shit for, I hope it's as rewarding for him as it is for me, because I got to have several moments this past weekend with my pops where he was just like, this shit is dope. Or he'll ask, he saw my mantra on the mirror and he was like, yo, what's that? And we talked about that and I was like, that's dope. I just had a conversation about money with my dad. I don't know if I would have gotten that, you know? So it's hard, but it also is mad rewarding. And again, it's a privilege. So I'm not about to sit up here and do no woe is me shit, fam. Like I'm hella blessed, bro. Like it ain't even funny how blessed I am. Like, you know what I'm saying? So and that's why I've sort of pivoted away from such somber music, because I don't have shit to be somber about. Like I get to celebrate my loved ones, and that's if you're asking me what my Grammy is, that's that my uncle knows he means the world to me, that my mom knows she's a star, that my sisters know that they're my world, and my lady, like, you know, it's like as long as I get to do that, man, please, I'm good. This other shit don't matter for real.
Nah, man, that is real, and I connect with that. I guess my question would be, because I think realizing how significant all that is and what that means to me has been a process and a journey. It wasn't like I got that immediately, kind of like Bones. Like I got the connection of connecting the dots, but I didn't really understand the significance of like why you don't play certain things and do certain things. Like, what was that journey like to get to this point where you're like, man, this is everything. Like all the things. Like, was there a moment where you were like,
Deuce.
damn?
Brookfield Deuce. Brookfield Deuce goes, man, this shit only working because none of us want to be famous no more, and I died.
Wow. So the death of the ego.
But what happens? I'm telling you, bro, because I was doing it. Niggas was walking around doing that woke shit, pretending like they had killed their ego, and nobody had done it for real. That's why wouldn't nobody get no money. It's like, no, I killed my ego, fam. I'm all about the, man, get that shit out of you. Still broke. And you only broke because you're not working with the best people, and your partners is the best people, but you don't really want to see them win because you're still trying to elevate yourself. This nigga Deuce goes, man, this shit only working because we don't want to be famous no more. I said, this is brilliant. I'm getting all the clout and recognition I could have ever wanted for as a rapper, doing a quarter of the work being a part of Grand National. I only gotta do one verse. I got to do the verse, the hook, the bridge, the beat, and nobody gave a fuck. I did one verse and all these people was like, man, you hella tight. I was like, wait, what?
Man.
I'm doing a fraction of the work and getting all the recognition I ever wanted. If that ain't, I'm sorry, bro, what we talking about? If that's not the answer to be a part of a community, fam, I don't want to hear it.
Right, and like, I'm mad, and that freed you up, that only having to focus on one verse frees up all this other time for you to do other things, right?
like, Mani, how you keep going? It's like, fam, go listen to East Shore. I'm only doing half the song. Go listen to Grand National. I'm not on every song. Right. And everybody goes, you part of Grand National. You tight. Wait a minute. I'm not on every song, and you go, I'm tight. Come on, less is more. Less is more. But again, it's another one of those things that it's not for everyone. So I don't knock anyone that it's not for. I just go, don't tell me that you want to be successful, and all you got to do is not be a hater and work a part of a team. And you still talking about you want to be successful. Success is right there. Don't hate on nobody. Connect the dots.
Literally.
Connect the dots.
Man, I completely connect with that because I've gotten the opportunity to be able to collaborate with Grand National, and it's been the easiest set of work.
Oh man.
Like that I've had to do versus doing it on my own. Like I think I was so focused on like it has to be perfect, I have to do all these things, but the brand wasn't going anywhere. But as soon as I started saying, you know what, I need to really, allow myself to work with other people and collaborate. And I think that started with like the conversations you and I have in the Conversations Hub, and a lot of folks that played an integral part in me growing as a creator and as an entrepreneur. I wasn't always like that. Like for me to be able to do a collaboration, it would have taken me twisting my arm and being like, all right, what do I got to do? Like, is that right? But doing this with y'all has made so much sense in terms of that community, right? Like, not having to worry about what the outputs are going to be of the content, like really just focusing on the design and trusting that the people that are on this team are going to get this to the finish line.
Wow.
And that's, in my mind, how you connect the dots. Is like you said, you need to be able to let go of needing to be the man or be the one in the spotlight in order to make this work. It's like, no, I want to contribute. Yeah. And that contribution is going to lead to a W for all of us.
It's like there was a time when cats was really making fun of Robert Horry. Man, he
big buckets. Big buckets.
How in your sick brain can you make fun of Robert Horry? He got more rings than anybody, fam.
Bro.
Because he just did his part.
Did his part. Steve Kerr.
Just did his part.
Yep.
And so the part of it that's the most beautiful for me is that all, if not most of us, have experience in corporate, right? And not in a demonized way either. I think if it all came down to it, like there's a good part of us that would all knowingly go, all right, bro, I'm gonna go get this bag over here real quick and do it with intent. But what that did allow us to do was to not be so sour on the experience and really learn how corporate was operating. And I say corporate meaning white collar and mostly white men dominating that space, and as a means getting to dictate where the revenue is split. And 10 times out of 10, it wasn't with our people. And so my experience with corporate, especially from a creative sense, was working with creative agencies to get hired as a contractor to do all the work I'm doing now and to get a fraction of the pay.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait, so you can get the bag, you can hire me, you can take 90% of that bag and just pay me something to keep me satisfied. Put your name on that and do it again. And because you did it, you're gonna get 10 more jobs and you're gonna hire me 10 more times. And so it's something not adding up.
Yeah, it's you literally providing the sauce.
The sauce.
We were having that conversation earlier.
Bruh,
yeah.
Nobody told me I could monetize it though.
Yeah.
And so I'm in the room, and I'm not mad at it. I'm just peeping how the white boys is busting down the money. This department is going, hey, bro, I got a budget of 150. What, you can do it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's that easy.
Yeah.
And nobody lose no sleep, nobody going to jail, no nothing.
Yeah.
The easiest transaction ever, and they just kept it all in. Oh, okay. So I got homies that do graphic design. I got homies that do film, not just videoing, but editing. That shit pays like top dollar. Oh, I got homies that can do publicist work. Oh, okay, bet. I got homies that can actually build products. All right, cool. I got homies in finance. What are we doing, bro?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
We got a whole industry of everybody. We got everything covered.
Yeah.
Literally, Regan and I talk about everything. We got everything we need. There's nothing we're lacking.
Yeah, without a doubt. And that's a conversation I had yesterday with Kev in terms of the Grand National being an agency where creative strategy is all being funneled under one house, right? And this is exactly the corporate model that you talk about. Like, I work at a design agency currently, and this very concept is something that they would probably do, but they wouldn't want to pay me to do it.
Yeah.
They would be like, oh, that's cool, Jonell. That's a really interesting way to connect and engage. But like, do they see it as a strategic partnership between myself and them? No, they see it as like, well, he's a part of this team.
We just
He's
talked
going to
about
create
that.
it for this brand,
just
and
talked
I'm
about
going to grow your business, but I'm not really going to do anything for myself.
No.
And that's the game that we get caught up in, is like, I'm going to earn these notches to move up into some title, but that doesn't guarantee that I'm going to be here for the rest.
Status.
Yeah, it's status.
Yeah,
it's being fame. It's kind of being like
it's
searching for that fame.
It's the same. It's all the same, right?
Yep.
So, and that's what we had to stop playing with. Like, for real, it's like at the core of it, bro, you want to be famous, and that's why Deuce's quote was so impactful, because it revealed something. I won't speak for the crew. I'll speak for myself. It revealed a part of me that was not being completely honest, right? The second I did that shit and started giving, I got songs that I was holding for me that I gave to Jane, that I gave to Deuce, that I gave to Kev, because it's fucking Kevin Allen, bro.
Yeah.
Give him the record. Like,
Yeah.
he gonna do something that you couldn't have done, and it's gonna go further, and guess what? You get to put your name on it.
Yeah.
James, I don't like that. I don't care what nobody say. That, my name don't need to be on the fucking song. That's all Jane. But she said, homie, she going, nah, bro, come on, you did that. And she telling everybody I did it. I mean, it's just a beat.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about art and disciplines. You understand the difference between the beat maker and the producer and the songwriter and the composer. Bro, all that shit matters, and you gotta respect all of them.
Yeah.
And if you just do your part and not try to take extra credit, oh no, man, I wrote the song. No, fam. I made that beat. Jane wrote, produced, and composed that fucking song. That's all Jane.
Yeah.
And I just get to be a part because I just did my part and then try to stand in the fucking way of her ascension.
Yeah.
You know? And that's what's so dope. Working. Lex is here, like, this fool. I know. That's where it was, the lesson for me. The beginning of the podcast. Lex goes, hey, man, I'll film it for you. I go, yeah, bro, I don't have no money. He goes, I didn't ask you that. I'm telling you I'll film it for you because I just want to be down. Like, I see the vision. Before I even started. Nah, man, I don't have no money. All right, man, you being weird, bro. So I did the first few episodes. It was cool.
Yeah.
He came back. He said, hey, bro, I'll film a podcast for you. You know what? All right, Lex. He filmed the first episode, and just randomly, B2K decided to get together and drop a record that we made fun of it. No, it wasn't even B2K. It was like Lil Fizz or Raz-B and the East Side Boys. It's something random. And we just made fun of it, and he was smart enough to go, this is hilarious. Let me make a clip of it and put it out. We got so many new viewers that day. And it was doing so well, but it was so much work. Like, I knew how tired I was each week. Like, we do the pod, edit it, put it out the next day, write the copy, try to promote it as much as you can, and get ready to do it again next week. Yeah. I couldn't have sound mind asked somebody to sign up for another job, like a full-time gig, and be like, I ain't got no money though. I just couldn't do that. And he's like, bro, this is an investment. Yeah. It's gonna work. Yeah. And I still couldn't do it. And so I fired him.
What?
So I fired him.
Wow. What?
And he stayed away for like 30 episodes. And they did okay. But had Lex been there for those episodes, who knows where we would be. Oh. So we bring him back, and he goes, on air, he goes, hey man, I know I was fired, but and everybody loved it. And it was like, oh shit, we got to put Lex on the mic. Yeah. And then he became a co-host and a producer of the show, right? And that was, Meet the Brave was like wanting to show the process, like the success and the failures and the dumb decisions, but ultimately that thing that makes you keep going and have it work. So now when people laugh at these moments and like, damn, we didn't quit. Yeah. Nip says it. Nip says it all the time. No genius, I just didn't quit. Yeah. And that's my favorite bar, because everybody, now we're in that space where everybody asks us like, yo, what's the secret you can give anybody? It's like, fam, just don't quit. Yeah. And I don't know how to just make that because it's not sexy. Yeah. It's not a clear cut answer, and people kind of just left like, wait, what? I'm like, you're going to want to quit. You're probably going to. Yeah. Just don't. Man. You know.
No, that's real. I remember going back to Kingston 11. I remember when the game nights first started.
Yeah. Is it Corey?
It is
What's his
Adrian,
Adrian,
AD, and Nigel, the two owners. I remember it would only be like 4 people will show up. It would be me, Hub, and his lady, and one other homie, and it would just be the 4 of us at the table. And I'm like, man, this is hard. Like this hurts the ego a little to be able to say like, yo, I'm putting on an event and only 4 people showed up. And I remember having a conversation with AD, one of the co-owners of Kingston 11, and he was like, just keep showing up, be consistent, because that will shine through more than anything, right? So from that moment, it was like, somebody asked me if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. You hit me up, it's like, yo, you trying to do this? You hit me up to go to this cool warehouse in West Oakland.
You always pulled up with the table and the bones, never let me down.
Yeah.
And every time people would go, bro, the domino shit was lit.
Yeah, but I wasn't seeing that part until like further down the line. So it was just like I need to be consistent. Like that was the little nugget he gave me was, bro, if you keep showing up, people are gonna respect that piece more so than the dominoes you've created. Like they'll see the value in that at a certain point, but like you show up, do what you say you're gonna do, and when you do it, you live by that and you continue to do that. And 5 years later, we sitting here having this conversation off of that consistency.
Hey. And are you crazy enough to keep going 5 years later, bro? 5 years is a long ass time.
And
it really ain't though.
It isn't. And let me tell you, there were moments. I think there was the car breaking. They stole the domino tables. I went out into the town and was like, I'm on a search for these tables. I got the tables back, but before that moment, I was like, bruh, this is a sign from God telling me I might need to hang up these dominoes. But it was a sign like, yo, if this is what you really are about, like community and building that, like, you need to continue doing it. And I went and grabbed some coffee. I'm pulling out the parking lot. I look in my rearview mirror. 4 tables just sitting in my rearview mirror.
Wow.
Somebody stole them. Realized they was too heavy to carry, left them in the parking lot.
Wow.
And I got them back.
Wow.
But I was vulnerable enough to share that with the community. And people supported.
Wow.
They were like, I had chalked up the loss of the tables, and people were like, yo, I'm gonna make sure that you continue to offer this program. I'm gonna shoot you bread. Because I was showing up. Like, I wasn't asking for money at these events. I was making sure that we, as a community, have this space to dialogue and celebrate who we are. And consistently making sure that I'm there to do that. And people really saw that. And like, so I have the community to thank for all of that. And like, these tables would not be here without the community, right? I wouldn't be here having this conversation if it weren't for these domino tables, right? So it's like, recognizing that blessing and letting go of the ego to be able to say, hey, we here because of dominoes.
We here. What we try next?
We got the El Mero Mero.
Mero.
This is a mezcal. We'll get to taste it and see where we go from there. And also you on the pull for the dominoes.
The Por Siempre too. See what the difference is.
Yeah. So I know we talked about like the Grand National, all that you're working on, and I'm curious, like, what's your vision as a creator? Because you've been manifesting a lot of beautiful work in the last year and a half that I've been witnessing. Like, what is it? Like, what is the vision for you?
Man, it's funny. Oh, yeah, salute to you, brother.
To you,
cheers.
To us.
The homie from Amsterdam asked me that specifically yesterday. And because I've been journaling.
It's on you to pull.
Yeah, because I've been journaling, it was fresh and vivid, right? In terms of the amount of money you wanted to generate, the how I wanted it to translate, and ultimately, the ultimate big picture goal is to build enough influence, financial independence, to be able to influence or have a say on the education system and reintroducing the arts as a true vehicle, right? And not in a whimsical sort of just leave them to their vices. No, introducing industry, building industry, financial literacy, like how all of that is related, right? Because I think in another lifetime, in another world, Berry Gordy's considered a genius.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And how many geniuses are slipping through the cracks?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That can just see certain things, but learn completely different.
Yeah.
And learn through different vehicles. And so I was one of those kids that really almost got left behind. And like California got that whole No Child Left Behind, bro. I was almost one of them for sure. Because my sisters they knew how to learn. I didn't know how to learn, bro. Like I struggled, and it was so embarrassing. Like to raise your hand and be like, I don't understand that. And the whole class get it, and you just terrified and going, hey, I don't know. And so I'm, shout out to 510 Media and the Hope Foundation. I'm taking that course. And the dopest part about it is that I'm insulated by black folks that are encouraging asking questions.
Yeah.
No, ask more questions. Ask more questions. So you get out of that whole being ashamed to say, I don't know. It's like, no, you better say you don't know if you don't understand, because now you a lame if you don't say you know. Or if you don't say you don't understand. Why would you be somewhere for 3 hours at a time and pretend like you know? And that's what I experienced in school. But it was partly because there's trauma and all that other stuff, but it's partly because I was just a different type of learner.
Yeah.
And so the arts programs weren't influential. They weren't properly resourced. Like there's all these things that were lacking. And so I think about it like that, right?
Yeah.
Everybody goes, you're a rapper, this is like, bro, that shit is awesome, but it's really about making sure that these children aren't completely disregarded, because that's what was happening when we were in school. So I know it's happening now. Yeah. Like the sort of like how the range where we live at. We live in the Bay. Some of the wealthiest people live here. Some of the poorest do too. Yeah. And so when you see the difference between the education systems and the districts and the counties, all right, fam, we gotta have a different conversation. Education needs to be completely revamped. Yeah. And so when you ask that, it's like, yeah, all of this work is just so you build enough influence like Hov so you can do something. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And the art and all that is one thing, but that's my goal. Yeah. You know, that's my goal.
Yeah. And I think from that, infrastructure, like what you're saying is infrastructure. You need 35 to go.
To go?
Yeah.
Oh, I know better than this.
Or 25 to go, actually.
25 to go?
Yeah.
I know better than this, bro. Give me 10. I know way better than that.
But, I mean, that vision for infrastructure, whether it be through education for our youth, is needed in the Bay, for sure. In terms of the art, right? Like, so many of our creatives sometimes...
This is significantly different from
it really is.
That's amazing.
Are so... Sometimes feel like the only way that they can make it as an artist is that they have to leave the Bay. Yep. And so when I think about what you're saying, I think about, yes, we need to have the early education that provides for these young people to be able to be creators. Yep. And then the infrastructure needs to evolve into spaces where Grand National exists, Let's Bubble exists, Uplifter exists, where they can say, hey, we have these mentors that are going to guide us to create businesses, and those businesses no longer have to leave the Bay Area.
Industry.
The industry, yes.
An actual industry for once.
Yeah.
And it's doable.
Yeah. Sheesh. Yeah. You got me thinking too much right now. One, because you really busted my ass. Like, I'm kind of embarrassed to say that. Like, my first showing is.
This the pilot, baby. Show up and show out.
Oh
and,
man, but
and rep for real. But
Yo.
I'm elated to be here, bro.
yeah, because I'm glad we family, because if this was a stranger, I might just burn this car.
Right.
But
And this episode ain't coming out.
like, yeah, we didn't really get that final file, so we.
Oh
But-
man.
Yeah, I think I love that, because I think about the power of you and the Grand National and all the people that we surround ourselves with, and being able to, not being able to, but laying the groundwork.
Yeah.
And realizing that that groundwork isn't essentially just for our own gain,
Yeah.
but it's that we're laying groundwork, kind of like the Panthers did, right? Like, the movement will continue.
Yeah.
And so the financial freedom, the literacy that we're building,
Yeah.
the equity that we're building
equity.
is all centered around us furthering the movement. The marathon continues, right?
That's it.
Whether or not we're here or not, the marathon's going to continue,
and,
right?
And no longer living for us. And that again, back to Deuce's statement. This shit is working because we don't want to be famous no more. If you want to be famous, it's still about you.
Yeah.
You're sadly mistaken, bro.
Yeah.
You're sadly mistaken if you're walking around thinking this shit is about you. It's not about you.
And I'm going to take this as an opportunity to get 10.
Get your chicken.
Yeah, because
I'm going to get 15.
You need 10
I
more.
need 10 more.
And I'm going to take 20 of them things.
He called me simple. I thought that was it. That's what I get. That is exactly what I get.
Domino. That's 5?
No.
All right. Yeah, like, we need, the strategy for this, in terms of that vision, I'm completely on board with.
Just because on board and you already, that's what I think, like, so the dominoes is one thing, but when we talked, because we actually got to build that night,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, bro, doing the same thing.
Yes.
And so
yes,
along the way, we kept
completely.
meeting all these people that were doing exactly the same thing, just in their own ways and their own disciplines. And it's like, bro, we're so much stronger together.
Yeah.
And me going, hey, I don't have this covered. Can you cover this? And it working, you know?
It is completely true. Like, I'm cool being Robert Ory. I'll take them rings.
Me, I'm home.
For real.
Hey, Robert Ory would leave the gym. His afro would still be intact. He wouldn't be sweating. And he'd be like, bro, I just hit the tray ball to win the game.
Yo.
And he getting shown on SportsCenter highlights on loop.
Yo, to be honest with you, and this is totally off topic, but as a kid watching the Rockets, I really thought Robert Ory was the best player on the team.
Because you always saw it. It's like hit the big shot, and then he gets to the Lakers and do the same thing. You're like, all right, bro,
Man.
what's going on?
For real. For real. And there's something to be said about that, right? Like, us playing those parts as a team, especially in the collective that we have right now in this room, like, everybody's playing a part, and no part is greater than the other.
Facts. Give it up.
All right. Let me get 5.
Oh, I seen it coming the other way.
Man.
All right, man. What we doing? What we doing here?
You ready to try this last one?
Yeah, man.
All right. We got the Amomata. This is
Amomata.
also, I believe, it's a mezcal, or it's distilled from agave.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, no problem. And
Truly, I'd like to toast to the start of something. It's not really the start, but
yeah,
It is the pilot, so it's technically this. It'll be the consumer's start, but I got to watch you work on it again. You said it for 4 years, so salute to you, to Uplifters,
To Grand National, Brave.
Come on,
Brave,
man.
Brave
Come
Area,
on, man.
all of this.
Salute.
Let's Bubble, Black Nerd, like Alkali Rye, bruh.
She nailed it when she said,
Man, y'all need to try this.
Like, this is crazy.
This is, I'm a mata. This is
I'm
incredible.
curious. I got
Man.
questions. I got questions because of the flavors in that.
Man, I gotta actually cleanse the palate real quick. Man,
Wow.
that's tasty.
Yeah. Distilled twice in copper and wood. Huh.
Man, is this on me, Mani?
Yes.
How am I gonna play this? I'm gonna take 5.
What I need?
You need. Did you score?
Not yet. I'm about to.
Oh, bro, you won. No.
Oh, we out there.
Oh, you won.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Man, I appreciate you,
You
bro.
already know, bro. Congrats, man.
Thank you. We keep in them building. Man. That was tasty.
He waiting for you to call a rap.
Wow.